Namaste. I'm Arundhati Nag. I'm speaking from Rangashankara. We are trying to repurpose our public spaces at Rangashankara, and the first effort we are making in this direction is a bunch of talks with psychiatrist and a theatre friend and an artist also. His name is Dr. Shekhar Seshadri, lest I get it wrong. He is Senior Professor, Department of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry in NIMHANS, and he's also the Associate Dean of Behavioral Sciences. Now, you might wonder why we want to speak to a doctor of such eminence and belonging to the stream of psychiatry. Because I've been serving theatre for the last 45 years, and I do believe that theatre has an extremely important function in the development of structures in society, be they psychiatric, be they behavioral. And what happens to us artists is also important. We artists experience the lives of different people. We enact human predicaments. We see conflicts being resolved differently by different characters, and all that adds to our knowledge of human behavior. The same, almost the same, happens to the audience also. An audience comes prepared to be engaged and informed, entertained also, and also learn something. And he or she does learn something about, again, the human predicament, how different people behave in different situations. Maybe a solution is found, maybe an identification is made with a particular character or a situation. So there's so much that is happening. This is an almost unwritten contract between the performer and the audience. They come with the preparedness to believe in what we present to them. Now, in these 60 and more days of COVID and the impact of COVID, we believe mankind has gone through one of the most unnatural things of being locked up and having to move around only in their small houses, confronted with one another, and maybe realizing some good things and maybe even realizing some monsters that reside inside us or within the relationship. Now, with no theatre available, with no other interaction with people available, these things have really got aggravated. And so we felt that while theatre is not there to do what its task is in a very different way, is helping people recognize what is going on, we thought we will talk to an artist friend of ours, somebody who empathizes with the artist community, somebody who has engaged with society at large, understanding what is going on there in different people's minds and hearts. So I have with me Dr. Shekhar Seshadri, and he's going to touch upon 3 verticals which will really largely address the issues and try to help us recognize, articulate whether we need help. So the issues largely are children and parenting, uncertainty, the tyranny of uncertainty, and maybe special people with special needs, which means older people, senior citizens, disabled people, and people with special needs. How has the COVID impacted these 3 verticals in society? What can one look out for? How can we seek help if we need it? So I'm going to ask Dr. Shekhar Seshadri to join us now. Namaste, Doc. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to work on this project together, because I don't look at this as us and you, but we're in this together. So, can you just elaborate on what could these monsters lurking within the parameters of children and parenting, having been affected by this kind of a 60-day forced confrontation or being forced to stay in the same quarantined home? What could be the fallout? What could be the indicators that we should be looking out for as human beings out there in society? What should people be looking out for? Because you deal with adolescents, you deal with children, so obviously then they're the parents also. And what are the kind of issues that have come to you in this time?
Thank you very much for having me here. Namaskara. It's a great honor and privilege and a responsibility. To begin with, this pandemic has been unprecedented in the history of mankind. The last known such pandemic was 120 years ago during the Spanish influenza, where upwards of 30 million people died.
Yeah.
We've had other disasters, earthquakes, floods, wars, armed conflict. As recently as a month ago, we had the cyclone in Orissa and Nisarga, which hit the west coast. But these have been geographically circumscribed. But a pandemic of this nature, which has affected the world internationally, has been unprecedented in our times. It's not something that we have experienced in our lifetimes. Compounded by the lockdown. Now, if you look at this from the perspective of what it does to children's lives and therefore the way that it impacts on parents, let's look at it from the perspective of the kind of loss that children experience. There is loss of routine. There is loss of structure. There is loss of predictability. There is loss of learning and classroom experiences. There is loss of social spaces. And there is loss of access to peer interaction and therefore loss of play. And when children experience these losses, and you cannot take them out to the world, the challenge for parents really is how do you bring the world back into the family so that their developmental experiences and therefore the nurturing of their working minds is sustained and maintained. This is one part of the story of
Yes.
the several losses. The other part is the kind of anxieties and concerns that it generates in children's minds. There are those children who have pre-existing anxiety, either as their temperament or perhaps even as a disorder. And there are those children for whom it's a new onset experience of anxiety, concerns about their health, concerns about the health of the extended family that lives in other cities, concerns about when the lockdown will lift, when schools will open. For those who are at the stage of their exit exams, are they going to suffer a loss of a year? What happens to entrance competitive exams? So there are all kinds of concerns and anxieties that are playing in their minds. And therefore, for parents to recognize these concerns and anxieties and respond to them in a scenario where parents are themselves dealing with the kind of uncertainty and predicament that they are in.
Yeah.
And children watch how parents are dealing with this situation, and parents therefore form some kind of a role model for them in terms of the skills to handle challenges and the unknown in the lives that all of us are experiencing. So this is largely the framework of the reality that we are going through at the current point of time.
So this has really brought the sharp focus on parental behavior, on each one of us really being forced to look at the other in greater detail, and therefore I guess we have to exhibit more caution.
There is the issue of caution,
Yeah.
but more than that, there is the issue of the re-establishment of new routines and new structure. Because the truth is that this unusual human circumstance is going to go down in the history of mankind 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, 50 years down the line. This is going to be written in the history of mankind. That was an event that brought human down to its knees. The strange thing is that the virus is not even a living thing. It is just a strand of RNA. And if you look at the millions of people who've been affected and the lakhs of people who've died, and if you put the total weight of the strand of RNA that has brought humankind down to its knees, it is not even 20 grams. 20 grams of a non-living thing has brought us down to our knees. What does this mean then for parents? And how do you rediscover new routines? And the importance of this is really the establishment of memories that will sustain children as they emerge from this pandemic and they emerge from the lockdown. And what do memories of childhood mean? As you pointed out, what do we, if you ask any human being, what do you remember about your childhood? She will remember that which is a stable memory. And a stable memory is something that either happened very often or it may have happened once, but it was unforgettable. Therefore someone will say, what I remember about my childhood? I remember that there was a 100-year-old bell, an antique bell in my house, and it was my responsibility to ring it every day before dinner, and the family would gather. And now at age 40, that bell has pride of place in my house. Or what I remember about my childhood? I remember that we had a family tradition that every week we would go to the nearby orphanage and do some work and some assistance. And that's where I got my inspiration to do social work. And here I am at the age of 35 as a social worker.
So family memories.
Family memories. But family memories can also be, what I remember about my childhood is day after day thinking, why was I born in this family? Or the memory would be that all I remember about my childhood is night after night putting my ear outside my parents' door to listen whether they were killing each other or not. So how do we create memories in this unusual circumstance to actually bring in a routine and a structure which is then predictable for children? And predictability brings comfort and reassurance. Structure brings richness of new experience and therefore keeps development intact. And this is the time therefore for storytelling, story sharing, for parents about your own childhood. 5 things about your mom or your dad that you never knew. 3 new things that we can do together. And this is how we basically handle the challenge that this unusual circumstance imposes on us.
Okay, my God. Yes, so for theatre people, we have been the original storytellers, so to speak. I guess we have to look at how are we going to continue to tell the stories that we told all these years. But we will regroup with all of you again when once we are allowed to meet with social distancing, and we are going to request Doc to conduct workshops with theatre maybe as a tool, because he's so good at using theatre as a tool to discover what could those stress points be. We'll announce those dates, and you can keep in touch with us. Send us your email IDs at office@rangashankara.in, and we'll keep you posted. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe. Look out for the next, what do I call this, bulletin or little talk, which is going to concentrate on uncertainty And you'll have yet another talk which will look at special people and people with special needs. Thank you for being with us.
Namaste.
Jira